If you want creators and influencers to sell your product better, they have to be as bought in to the product and the mission and the cause as you are. And the best way that I have found to do this is by creating a brand board. So I'm going to walk you through my brand board. This is a play on something that I used to do when I was helping people build personal brands to sell info products and coaching programs as well. It's the same idea, just for a physical product instead of a info product, an educational product, a coaching product. So I've been using this concept for a long time. I've sold hundreds of thousands of dollars online using this concept of a brand board. So of course, this one's going to be focused on product though, because that's the whole point of why you're here. So when we look at this, you really have to, of course, everybody says, know your ideal customer. But you may know your ideal customer. You have to get your ideal customer point across and that avatar across, easily explain that to the people who are selling your product for you as well. So with that, you can dive in deep to it like we will here, these buyers. But then you also have to have a mission for your company, for your reason. You have to get these people bought into why you're doing it and bought in essentially the same as you, so that they will sell your product just like you would sell your product. Now, if you look here, I have a couple main key points here. So this is my person that I'm selling to. I'm selling to alternative seekers. So I'm going to use that language. I'm going to use that vocabulary, similar things a lot. Alternative, right? And I'm doing this for different reasons. I'm doing this because this goes into further different market research and analysis and whatnot, but there's an uptrend in searches for medicinal functional mushrooms. There is an uptrend in people that the pendulum is swinging the other way. People went Western medicine for so long. They went vaccines, doctors for everything, prescriptions, all this stuff. And now this pendulum is swinging the other way, and people are not doing that. People are not going to the doctor. People are looking for natural alternatives. People are looking for holistic healthcare. So I'm riding that market wave, and I'm going to actually really capitalize on that by providing a tested, tried and true product in Eastern medicine and Eastern functional medicine, alternative medicine, for centuries, which is mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms, functional mushrooms. And then I'm going to sell it to people who are natural alternative seekers. So these people who are looking for the natural alternative, but they might not know what that is. And we're going to get into that later down here, where you have to determine the stage of awareness that you're selling to these people at. So this is going to go really in depth here. Now, you want to have a couple things here. So immediately I'm identifying, right? This is obviously my brand, Root Cause Subs. Immediately I'm identifying who it's for. It's what is it and who it's for. It's mushrooms for alternative seekers. That needs to be the main thing, so that every video you make, the creators make, the influencers make, they understand what it is and who it's for. So that is the foundation of every video that's created for your brand. Then you have the mission. Okay, what is the brand's mission? Now, this is not an individual mission in regards to, this can be a general mission. Like for me here, this is a pretty general mission. Help the customer become the hero in their own story. Meaning, this is about the customer. This is not about the product. This is not about the mushrooms. This is about the natural alternative seekers. This is how can you help your customer become the best version of themselves by them using your product. That's what you're looking for here. And then with that comes a couple different things. So you're going to have some beliefs. I'm considering adding a third one here, but for right now, there's some beliefs, which is like self-explanatory. The beliefs of my creators and my influencers that are making this content for me. The beliefs when they create my content, or create content for my brand. These beliefs are in their head. Mushrooms over medicine. The mushroom alternative. And they're talking to people who are mushroom curious. Are you mushroom curious? Right? And that goes down into the stages of awareness, which we're going to talk about in a bit here. And so if you look at these people, the people who are looking for natural alternatives, the people who have heard about mushrooms, the people who have something holding them back, and mushrooms is the thing that's going to solve that problem for them and let them become the hero in their own story. And the people selling it, the creators and influencers, have these beliefs that mushrooms over medicine in obviously certain circumstances, not to make medical claims, but in the general circumstances, and the mushroom alternative to medication, to prescription, to other things, which is essentially Eastern medication or Eastern practices alternative to the new Western practices. So with that, this is how my branding looks. Because of all of this stuff right here, my branding looks like this for a reason. It's on par. My branding is natural, simple looking, right? It's earthy, natural colors. The badges at the bottom of the label prove that the ingredients are clean, like vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, manufactured in the USA, right? I forgot I can do this. And then you look at another competitor, because I'm launching here on TikTok Shop, because I believe that's the best opportunity right now to launch a product, especially a supplement. And you see here, my competition, Gorilla Shroom, it says what it does here, right? Supports focus, memory, energy, stamina, immune system. And Gorilla Shroom says energy, cognitive health, creativity. But this looks like psychedelic. There's like crazy neurons going, right? And it's like this crazy gorilla, and it says shroom on it. And so, yeah, in my marketing, sometimes the creators say shrooms because sometimes the algorithm doesn't like mushrooms. But the point here is this looks like a brand that you would see on a store of a shelf at a health food store, and it wouldn't look out of place. This looks out of place. This is what my ideal customer, my people who are natural alternative seekers, are not going to look for something and want to buy something that looks psychedelic, because that's a different type of mushroom. That's not what they're looking for. So if you make it look like this, those people aren't going to want to buy it, right? And then obviously the image on the label clearly shows what's in the supplement. So this Gorilla Shroom, it's psychedelic looking, and you don't know what's in there. Mine, you can see the mushrooms, some of the mushrooms that are in there. It's clearly labeled. So that makes a big difference. Now, going into the buyers a little bit deeper. Primarily it's going to be that 20 to 42 year olds, but honestly, 20 plus. You're going to have interests, goals. Where are they getting their information? Who are they influenced by? What are they looking for? Kind of all these things that we already went over a little bit. So you can read these for yourself here. You get the idea. Now, why are they looking to buy? Well, number one, they're already buying. This high intent audience searching for supplements that improve energy, focus, mood, immunity. They're already looking for these things, right? And then also, if it's a low cost item, they're impulse friendly. They will see someone recommend something a couple times by an influencer, hear it on a podcast, or they're getting informed on social media platforms, and they're willing to try it. And then obviously these people are very comfortable making quick purchases online. And a big thing here, open to education. They're open to having their mind changed. I am a 23-year-old, and I am very open to having my mind changed. I have my principles, my morals, my ethics. I have all those that I stand on and I don't defer from. But if you have a point, I'm always willing to hear you out. And it may change my mind. It probably won't. But it may change my mind, and I'm open to that. I'm totally fine with that. So this demographic is very open to being educated and informed, which makes this really great. So getting into a little bit more tactics, the real tactics here are going to be, because they're open to education and because of all these things and because of who they are, they're really open and going to be moved to make a purchase by proof, education, studies, and testimonies. So we're going to use reviews, we're going to use stories, we're going to cite medical studies and show actual examples, testimonials, reviews. We're going to educate them on what this stuff does, what it is, what it means, what it does to your brain, what it does to your body. And then, of course, you're going to have an enemy. Every good movement, every good brand has an enemy. And so mine can be somewhat broad by saying they are trying to hide this from you. But when you say they, people kind of know what you're talking about. They know it's like generally the government, big pharma, the medical companies, that kind of a thing. When you say they are trying to do this to you, they get the point. But, for example, saying things like big pharma on TikTok shop is kind of risky. So using terms like big harm ya, or, the system, they, being broad with it, where you can still get away with it, but the people know what you mean. Now we dive into the 5 stages of awareness. So where is your customer right now? Are they unaware they even have a problem? Are they aware that they have a problem but they don't know what the solution is? Are they aware that there's a solution to their problem, but they don't know about your product specifically being the solution? Are they aware of your product potentially being a solution to that issue? And then when they're most aware, your product is the best one for them. They're aware of all this. They're aware of the problem. They're aware of your product being the best solution for them. Then they just have to make that purchase. So you have to look at which people are you going to market to? Are you going to market to unaware people, where that's going to take a lot of time to educate them, a lot of effort? If you're marketing to unaware people, podcasts might be better. Some long form education, some long videos where 2-3 minute videos on TikTok shop instead, where you're going into, here's a problem that you may have, here's how people are solving it, here's why this thing specifically, right? Where I'm trying to market, my focus is on problem aware and solution aware. So I'm looking to market to people and to help people who are aware that they have a problem. They're aware that they're not a fan of taking medication. They're aware that they're not, for general stuff. I think it's like 25% of the kids are on Adderall. That's like, what are we even doing, guys? There is a obvious problem with the food system, so let's start there. But then, things like this, while that's getting fixed, hopefully that is reversible with food and exercise and physical, spiritual, mental health. However, during that time and or continued use of certain types of mushrooms, specifically lion's mane, is going to be a big solution to that problem. And it's going to be an alternative, right? Once again, here, alternative, mushrooms over medicine, the mushroom alternative, mushrooms for natural alternative seekers. It's going to be an alternative to the medication that they're taking, because the medication that they're taking has been side effects that are not great, that they don't like. So, or that the parents don't like specifically, because a kid might not have a say too much in that. So that's where you're looking at here. Also, solution aware is, okay, we're also selling to the people who are aware, they've seen a few videos that mushrooms could be the solution to their problems or their kids' problems, and they're wanting to try it. Now they just have to know, why should they buy from you? And that's where they move into the product aware. They should, okay, they want to buy from me because my products, all of them except for one of them, but the main products are manufactured in the USA. A lot of these products are cheaper, but they're manufactured in China. Then you have, my products are non-GMO and or organic. And there's other brands, a lot of the ones that are made in China are not non-GMO or organic. So you have things like that. You have certain mixes, right? My multi-mushroom is 10 different medicinal mushrooms in one. I have a chaga mushroom and I have a lion's mane mushroom, high doses of only those. But then also, a lot of times people want to take multiple different mushrooms and you buy a ton of these different ones. It's going to cost a lot of money. You could take a lower dose and just get 10 different medicinal mushrooms all in one. So why are they going to be buying your product specifically? You have to think of that as well. Why would they want, like, what is the selling points of your product? Why your product over someone else's? So, I'm telling my creators, don't waste time trying to convince people that big pharma and the system are their enemies. This would be unaware people, right? Don't try to educate them on, we're not here to do that. We're not podcasters. Speak to the people who already know they are the enemies and educate them on the solution, mushrooms, and our products. So bring the problem-aware people the solution of mushrooms. Bring the people who already know the solution of mushrooms. Bring them our product specifically. For our customers, speak their desires to them. People subconsciously know what they want, but sometimes it can be challenging to put it into words. This is where you can come in and speak their desires to them. Make them say to themselves, they get it, they understand exactly what I'm dealing with. And a lot of that's going to come from storytelling, relatability. So I kind of left it off with this for my creators and influencers. The key to sales with root cause. People don't want to buy chaga mushroom. They want to buy moody mushroom to feel better, uplift their mood, and potentially get off antidepressants and other meds. People don't want to buy lion's mane mushroom. They want to buy mental mushroom to focus better, get rid of brain fog, potentially get off ADHD medication, right? You get the idea. People don't want to buy reishi, chaga, lion's mane, shiitake, cordyceps. They want to buy multi-mushroom to improve their sleep, mood, brain function, immunity, and energy. People don't want to buy the solution, they want to buy the outcome. Or people don't want to buy the product, they want to buy the outcome. So if you're trying to sell people a product, they don't care. You have to sell people the solution. You have to sell people the outcome that they're going to get with that product. People are going to buy off of the outcome and the solution. So people don't want meds to be on meds the rest of their life. They want natural alternatives, potentially without the side effects. They want to fix the root cause. And this is a friend of mine who's actually my first customer, and he started taking multi-mushroom and got off of ADHD medication because the side effects were terrible. He had zombie mode, bad mental clarity, crash, fatigue, emotional flatness. Wasn't great. So it's a little bit of I'm telling them how to sell my product. Then I get them excited with a great testimonial. And then I get them hyped. Let's get to work. Let's change lives. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do. So this is my brand board. This is how to have creators and influencers sell your stuff better. Because a lot of people are making some terrible content out there, and I'm tired of seeing it. So that's what I got for you today. We'll see you on the next one.